So this is a teardown of the Behringer 2XM, clone of Oberheim's SEM synthesizer expander module, one of the first successful products from Oberheim, very influential on a lot of music tracks as well as audio design. So I thought it might be beneficial to kind of open up the hood of this, take a look at it, and see what it's made out of. All right, so the 8 screws are off. Hold down the front panel to the chassis. So we're going to go ahead and tilt the chassis down and see what this board has in it. All right, so it looks like it's a single board design. A lot of surface mount and a few through-hole components, quite a few. Let's go ahead and take this panel up and off. All right, there we go. Single ribbon cable, very similar to other Oberheim designs. Behringer designs. Definitely don't want to confuse the two. And yeah, typical Behringer construction, not bad at all. Let's go ahead and pop off this back ribbon cable. Okay, so this internal daughter board is there to allow MIDI. Also sets the MIDI ports, as well as providing some I/O in the back. Let's go ahead and set this off to the side. I think it also has a power input there for the 12-volt in, which probably internally regulates that to the power rails and the plus and minus 12 with some sort of inverter. Okay, now if we look at this on the top, you can see that there are some potentiometers or pots that are there for setting probably offsets or calibration, and those are marked on the printed circuit board. Printed circuit board itself is pretty clean, not super clean. Probably installed or manufactured with a no clean flux, so there's probably some residue going on there, which is what you see. And it's mounted to these mounting posts. And then the front side, it's relatively simple. You've got a total of 8 knobs that look like they have to be removed. The rest of the knobs are actually just almost straight in line with the potentiometer shaft, so they should go straight through the chassis. So this should make it relatively straightforward to take it apart and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and remove these. See if we can remove one of the knobs and see if it comes off easy. If not, we might have to get a pry tool. Hopefully we can avoid it, but sometimes you can't. Okay, it's pretty tight. Let's try one of the other knobs. That's pretty tight. Let's try that knob. Yeah, these knobs are all on pretty tight. Looks like we might need a pry tool. Sometimes there'll be a set screw. I think on most of the Behringer units, they're all plastic and they won't involve a set screw at all. All right, so I don't see anything there that easily comes off. So let's go ahead and get a plastic pry tool under there and see if we can pry those little guys off. Always want to be careful when using any pry tool, plastic or not, to help prevent damaging a finish. Let's put it away from where the text is. Yeah, that helped quite a bit. All right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8. Okay. All right, so now that those are loose, they should just come off, and they do. We'll set these over to the side. Okay, so now that those are off, the next thing that we need to do is remove the front panel screws on this back side that are holding it in. Looks like we have a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let's go ahead and remove those. Okay, we're gonna have to use a slightly larger Phillips. My slightly larger Phillips. All right, let's try getting at one of these guys. Yeah, that helps a lot. Okay, so that came off relatively easily. You can feel the entire panel loosen up here. So we're going to be careful. Looks like we've got one more screw. We need to be careful because sometimes there are internal components between the layers that'll pop out. Doesn't look like it in this case. The panel just came loose. We'll be extra careful here when we pull this thing straight out. Let's just check it out and see. Nope. It came completely loose. All right. So there we have it. So, okay. So we have a lot of surface mount electronics. A few through holes, mostly the capacitors. A lot of potentiometers and jacks, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in. One of the interesting things about the SEM is it's using an operational conductance amplifier, or OTA, for the filters, and I believe the oscillators as well. And I want to say it was the CA3080. One of the first, if not the first, OTAs out on the market, late 60s, early 70s. So I'd be interested to see what kind of OTA that Behringer decided to use on theirs. The LM13700 from, I guess that's now TI that manufactures those, is also an OTA that's very common. And apparently it shares a lot of commonality with the 3080 in terms of its performance. I'll have to look at that in a minute on the data sheet, but from what I could read, that's true. So let's go ahead and see which approach Behringer used. So I'm going to put this back plate to the side for a moment. Okay. And yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look, kind of do a zoom in maybe of one of those chips and see what we have. All right, let's see if I can get at this without messing up the light. All right. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this guy, and we're just going to kind of go through and look here. Aha. So apologize for my hand there, but you can see that's a 13700 chip, which is an OTA. Very similar again to the 3080 chip, so not entirely surprising at all. It's a commonly available surface mount chip. Probably would work really well in that application. So then the next question is that they use the same approach as the Oberheim SEM. Did they do the same architecture? My guess is they probably did. The original SEM is really not that complicated of a design. It's beautiful simplicity. And so what I see here is not really particularly remarkable, which is a good thing. There's no really fancy microprocessors or things going on. Most of these appear to be integrated analog ICs. Looks like we have a 4580 right there, which is an op amp. So, okay, yeah. And then over here, you've got your controller side, which is the probably the microprocessor for all the goodies that are handling MIDI and such, and all the wonderful things that Behringer has done for Music Tribe and other modern integrations. Hopefully they can get polyphony correct on this one for polychaining, because this is one design that would really benefit from that. One of the cool things about the Oberheim SEM when it was originally out was people would, as being a synthesizer expander module, would naturally expand their systems to have 2, 4, or 8 SEMs in a system. All right, so hopefully that was a good walkthrough for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this one. I'll take some final dimensions, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to do a final dimensional check just to see how thick this back panel is. So this will be in inches. So I'm going to take it from the top of the panel here to where this jack is. And apologize, I'm left-handed, so this is I'm gonna have to take it out and reverse it. All right, nope, double check that. All right. Okay, so that's 1.04 inches from the back of the panel. And I hope you appreciated this teardown. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll do more teardowns in the future.